everyone! So today I'm going to do a everyday most used makeup collection. I normally keep my makeup in a bag and a tin. I know that sounds really weird, but I have this tin on my dressing table. I got it as a gift, it's really cute, it's Emma Bridgewater, it's got hearts on it and it's bright pink inside, I love it. And I keep my everyday makeup that I don't then put in my bag, and I have it out on my dressing table, and it's really easy to kind of see what's in there and get to everything, especially if I'm in a rush in the morning, if I'm late, which I normally am. So I love that, and I just have that out. And it's easy to get to. My makeup bag is, I'm just going to peek it in the corner there, is a bag from Clippy, the ones with the photos in. And I don't really want to show it on YouTube because it's got photos of friends and family and stuff, so I'm going to kind of keep that out of shot, but that's also a bag that I use, and I then put that in my handbag to carry around makeup in. So I'll start with my primer, and the primer I use is the MAC Prep Prim Skin base, and I absolutely love this. I use it nearly every day. My skin, I have quite combination skin, but it's more oily than it is dry. I tend to break out sometimes. So the first product that I'm going to show you is my primer, and the primer that I use is the MAC Prep Prim Skin base, and it's a lovely primer. It is silicone based. You kind of get that really smooth feeling when you put it on your skin. It's got some slight shimmer in it too, which is really nice, but it's not super shimmery. I tend to really shy away from really shimmery things when I put it on my face, so I love this. And I use a primer because I have combination skin, but it's more oily than it is dry. I do sometimes get breakouts, and my makeup doesn't stay on very well if I don't use a primer, so this is the primer I use. Also, another thing, I know some people say they don't like the smell of MAC products like this, like the strobe cream and their moisturising things. I actually love the smell. I know that's kind of weird because it doesn't really smell of anything. It's not perfumed, or like there is no specific fragrance to it. It just smells of something, but I love the smell. I don't know why, I just do. So once I've primed my skin, I then move on to either a tinted moisturiser or a foundation. So I'll start with the tinted moisturiser. I tend to use this most days when I'm going to uni or just not doing very much around the house, and it's just perfect. I use the oil-free version because, as I said, my skin's quite oily, and I have the colour Porcelain, and this is really good. It blends really well into my skin. I can get just the right amount of coverage that I need. It's buildable. So yeah, I just love it. And also, can you excuse my nails? I have a Halloween nail design on, a little ghost there, but I haven't taken it off yet, so I'm really sorry because it's kind of out of season now. But I love this. I use that every day nearly. And if I want more coverage, say I'm going out in the evening, or sometimes I will just use it on its own. And my foundation that I use is the Bobbi Brown Natural Finish Long Lasting Foundation. This is the Laura Mercier has an SPF as well, but this has got SPF 15, and this is a matte finish, so it's really good for my skin. And I just tend to use the tinted moisturiser bit as a base, and then put this where I need a little bit more coverage. So that's really good, I love that. And I also have that in the colour Porcelain. So moving on to concealer, I have two concealers that I use a lot of the time, and the first one is the MAC Studio Finish concealer, and that's in NW20, which is a little bit dark for me at the moment. It's okay in the summer, but it's getting so it's gonna like a little bit too dark, and that's brilliant. It lasts all day, and sorry, my cat's climbing the curtain. It's really annoying. You can probably hear her. And yeah, I love it. And another concealer that I use a lot is the Bobbi Brown concealer stick, and I actually have this in the same colour as my foundation, Porcelain, at the moment. As you can see, it's super light, so it's too light for me at the moment. It will be fine in the middle of winter, but I know I look pale. I have more colour than I normally do. And I also use the MAC Select Moisture Cover concealer underneath my eyes, and that's in NW15. So moving on to powder, I use this powder every day to mattify my skin, set my makeup, everything. I have one in my bag. It's just the best powder I've ever used, and I've tried some really expensive ones as well, but I keep going back to this one, and I have it in the colour Rose Nude, and as you can probably see, got makeup on my fingers, it's so pale, but it's practically translucent, so it's a perfect colour for my skin. Love that. And then moving on to blush and bronzer. I use the bronzer Hoola by Benefit every day to contour and just to give my face a little bit of colour, but as I said before, I'm really pale, so I have to be quite careful because this is quite dark. And I use it with my Sigma tapered face brush just to contour along my cheekbones and up into my temples as well. And as I said before, I tend to shy away from things that have got a lot of shimmer in. So this is perfect because it's got a matte finish, and I'm not really a fan of bronzers that have got a lot of shimmer in. So I use that every day. But one thing that drives me nuts about the Benefit box powders is the packaging. It's so annoying. It looks rank after literally a month of... I probably don't treat it as well as I should do, but I just think for how much you have to pay for them, and I know it's light, and I don't know, it really annoys me, and especially, look at my Coralista brush. It's just, the design is completely cool. It's really annoying, but oh well. So, then, blushes that I use every day is, as I showed you, sorry, this smells incredible, the Coralista, which you can't see anymore, blush from Benefit, and this is one of their box powder blushes. It is a corally colour with gold reflex, and this is quite shimmery, but it's not too shimmery. I tend to use it when I'm feeling a bit tired and I want to pep my skin up a bit and brighten my face, so that's really good. And it smells amazing. This is another set of brushes that I use all the time, and I use one of them in particular nearly every day, and this is the MAC Hark the Heraldry Face Kit, and this was part of their limited edition collection that they released for Christmas last year. So obviously you can't get it anymore, but I love this. It's one of my favourite brushes. And if you open it, it's got a little mirror there, which is kind of handy. And it's got these two blushes in the front. Now, the first one is a sheer tone shimmer blush, and this is in the colour Plum Foolery. And as you can see, it's quite dark. And I tend to use this only for the evenings, and it's really shimmery too. So yeah, it's more of an evening kind of colour. I do occasionally use it in the daytime, but not often at all. And then this one here, and this is a powder blush in Dame. This is a really, really pretty baby pink kind of colour, and as you see, it's really sheer. And this has got blue reflex in it, which is really, really pretty colour. But the blush that I tend to use every day is the one at the bottom here, which you slide these out and in that. And this is a beauty powder in Oh So Fair, and this is just a matte kind of peachy pink colour, and I love it, and that's the one I've got on at the moment. So then moving on to highlight. The highlighter that I use is normally the MAC Mineralize Skin Finish in Soft and Gentle, and this is a brilliant, brilliant highlighter. It's a baked powder, as you can see, and it's marbled with kind of browns, and it's the cross between a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter. It's got some gold up here. It's really, really pretty, and I use that on my brow bones and my cheekbones, and I love it. And I also use it as an eyeshadow, and when I use it as an eyeshadow, I tend to try and pick up the more goldy tones in it, but yeah, I love that. Another highlighter I also use, probably not as often as this one, is the Jemma Kid Makeup School highlighter. Now, it's worn off the bottom, and I've had this for years. It's just lasted such a long time, and I don't even think it's in her collection anymore, but I love it, so it's probably not very helpful for me to show it on here, but I just thought I'd show you. It's got a cream highlighter in the top, and in the bottom there is a loose shimmer highlighter powder, and this is very, very shimmery, so I do only tend to use this for kind of like the evening, if I really want kind of a glowy finish. Then moving on to eyes, I use the MAC Skin Finish in Soft and Gentle as an eyeshadow, and I also use the MAC Bare Study Paint Pot every day, and I tend to use this just in the centre of my eye and again in the inner corner, and that's just to use as a highlight really. My eyeliner that I use every day is the Longwear Gel Eyeliner. Longwear Gel Eyeliner by Bobbi Brown, and I have the colour Espresso Ink, which I love because it's not really a brown, it's not really a black, it's somewhere in between. It's not as harsh as a black would be, but I'm quite dark, so some of the browns don't really suit me. This is the perfect colour, it's really easy to use, and it stays on all day, it's brilliant. I do sometimes use kohl too. It's not something that I use on an everyday basis really. I only tend to use it kind of around here, just to give my eyes a little bit more definition, and I sometimes press it into my upper lash line too. And I just have a really kind of bog standard kohl eyeliner, and this is from Rimmel. It's just a drugstore brand, really super cheap. For mascara, I use the Bourjois Volumizer mascara, and I love this mascara. I've tried so many different ones, and this is the best one. I do tend to chop and change mascara all the time. I swap between loads. I'm quite fickle when it comes to mascara, but this is the one that I love at the moment. This is a two-step mascara, which there are loads of them out on the market now. The step 1 brush, as you can see, is mostly for kind of defining and separating your lashes. You don't get much product out on the brush when you use step 1. So I use step 1 first, and then I move on to step 2, and as you can see, the brush has a lot more product on it now, and this really gives your lashes loads of volume, but it does sometimes make them quite clumpy. Because so then after I've used step 1 and then 2, I then go back to step 1 to kind of separate out my lashes and define them, because I'm not a fan of really clumpy mascara, and I also only use step 1 on my bottom lashes, and sometimes I'll only use step 1 if I just, you know, I'm not doing much and I just want a little bit of mascara on. Moving on to my eyebrows. Not many of you will probably believe it, but my hair naturally is nearly blonde, so it's kind of weird that I have black eyebrows, and I've had black eyebrows nearly black eyebrows nearly all my life, so that's kind of strange. So I don't really know why. I fill in my eyebrows every day pretty much using the MAC eyebrow pencil in the colour Spiked. It's a really good colour for my skin tone and for my hair. My hair is dyed obviously, and it's really easy to use. Just nice soft brow pencil really. And I also use the Tweezerman Brow Mousse, which is brilliant for keeping my brows set in place, because they are quite thick, they tend to be quite unruly. So I use that every day too. And then I'll just kind of stick in my lip balm, and I have a real problem with dry lips, especially when I use lipsticks and Benetton, and I love using Benetton on my lips and on my cheeks, but it drives me insane because it leaves my lips so dry and kind of even get to the point where they kind of flake and crack and stuff, so that's really horrible. And this is the lip balm that saves me every time I do it, and this is the Balance Me Rose Hydrating Rose Otto and Shea Butter Salve, and it's got a lovely texture to it. It's not super glossy, it's not sticky at all, really feels like you're moisturising your lips, and it's free from loads of horrible chemicals and rubbish and stuff, so I love this, and I think you can get this in John Lewis and Waitrose. And then the last kind of thing I've got to show you really is the brushes that I use every day. So my first brush that I use all the time is my Sigma Flat Top Synthetic Kabuki brush, and I use this to buff in my foundation, sometimes to put cream highlighters on, but yeah, it's brilliant for buffing my foundation, and I use it for my tinted moisturiser too. Love the finish that gives, love that brush. Then the second brush that I use is also from Sigma, and it is their tapered face brush, and I use this to apply any powder-based products that I use. That's brilliant for contouring especially as well too. And then the two smaller brushes that I use every day, can't find the other one. The two smaller brushes that I use every day are the MAC 252 and the MAC 209. This is for just applying eyeshadow, my paint pot, my Mineralize skin finish is Soft and Gentle, and this is for applying my gel eyeliner. Now, I love this brush, but it's quite thick, and it can be quite difficult to get a really kind of sharp line when I'm doing my liquid liner, so I do really want to get a thinner one, but this does the job anyway. So thank you so much for watching my video, and please subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.